And President Trump says he ordered another deadly military strike on a boat off the coast of Venezuela. The president released video of the attack saying the boat was trafficking drugs and that 6 male narco terrorists on board were killed. This is the 5th strike on suspected drug boats in the Caribbean. And now Venezuela's foreign ministry says the strike is a pure violation of international rights by the U.S. Senior national policy reporter Ann Flaherty has more on that. Hi, Ann. So what are we learning about this latest strike, and what's the Pentagon saying now?
Yeah, so Diane, this is 6 people who were killed aboard a very small boat. It's what it appeared to be. From the video that was posted by President Trump and Secretary Hegseth, you just see it floating along the waters and then a giant explosion. We're going to guess that it was some kind of drone that possibly hit it, but the military is not providing any details on this. They're also not providing any sort of legal analysis on why they believe that this kind of strike warranted military force. Of course, President Trump says that he believes that anyone who is trafficking drugs is akin to an unarmed combatant, as much as you would see in Iraq and Afghanistan in those early days in the war. So he says that the military has the authority to strike at these boats. They no longer need to pull in law enforcement and grant anyone due process.
President Trump says each of these strikes potentially saved 25,000 Americans from drug overdose deaths. How big of a threat are drug traffickers?
Well, of course, he has not presented any evidence of this because we don't know exactly what was on board, who was on board, what nationality it was, or what drug cartel he's talking about. But, you know, certainly I think everybody would agree, and I think this is why you've seen kind of a muted response from Congress, that drugs are a big problem. The illicit trade of drugs is a significant problem for the United States. But historically, it has always been seen as a criminal element and something that has been handled by law enforcement, not the military. But he's made this legal justification that he says that he believes that he is doing this in, quote, self-defense, and that they pose an imminent threat to the United States.
President Trump has touted these strikes as a deterrent, saying boats aren't going into these waters anymore. What are you hearing about the impacts of this campaign?
Well, we certainly have heard from senior administration officials saying that they are seeing fewer boats in this region. And we've even heard from Vice President J.D. Vance, who has joked about nobody should go fishing off of the coast of Venezuela. You know, I think one of the questions, though, here that a lot of people are asking is what exactly is the end goal of this? Because it's certainly not getting rid of fishermen, and it's certainly not getting rid of 1 or 2 drug boats. A lot of people are questioning whether or not the administration is pursuing any kind of regime change in Venezuela. That, of course, would take a significant, heavier military lift than just a few drone strikes. We are not getting any wind of any kind of incursion into Venezuela or the use of U.S. troops. That would run counter to President Trump's, foreign policy goals. But he certainly has called for Maduro to step down. Maduro says that he is not responsible for the drug trade, and they say that they are aware of these boat strikes.
Senior national policy reporter Ann Flaherty, thank you.